But if you're just joining us, welcome to Focus on Liberia for a special edition. This afternoon, we have with us comedian D. Curtis to talk about the business aspect of the entertainment business. And so we welcome D. Curtis. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. Well,
Yes. And before we start, I would like you to just tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Yes, you've been here before, but I just want to make sure that the audience can understand why you can comment on what we're talking about today. So just tell the audience a little bit about who you are.
my name is D. Curtis. I am a Liberian entertainer or entertainer. I'm widely known for my comedian character, which is the D. Curtis himself, the crazy character, the guy that wear all type of different outfit and do all types of crazy stuff. But beneath the character, there are different hats that I wear. I sing, I write, I direct music videos, I act, and then the comedy is on the side as well. So anything entertaining or anything within the entertainment community, or that's like my ball game. I That's what I do.
Okay, perfect. And so, how long have you been in the entertainment business?
Well, I think I surfaced back in 2017 on the Liberian entertainment scene. Other than that, I've been into entertainment all my life. I've been from middle school, high school. For those that know me from way back, they used to call me MC Double D. So I've been performing for a while. Stopped performing, and then I went into worship leadership and choir administrations for a very long time. And then I just surfaced again with this comedy thing back in 2017.
Okay, so since 2017, I guess for the comedy side of the business or
Yes.
your career, I should say. All right. So as we said, we're here to talk about the business aspect of entertainment. And
Mhm.
so I want to take a business approach to this conversation, and I want to break down the different sectors of business. And to start with, I want to talk about operations, right? And
Mhm.
so when we talk about operations in business, we're talking about the systems, the equipment, the people, and the processes that make an organization function, right? So I guess zoning into the entertainment business, when we talk about the people involved, who should an entertainer have on their team? Who should be the makeup of their team?
Well, it all depends on that individual and what their goals are, what they actually define from the very beginning as to what they're looking to do, what they do, who they are, and why they do certain things that they do. Once you're able to define who you are as an individual or as an entertainer, then you go on to looking for what you need. Um, and entertainment is a broader spectrum. We're going to try to narrow it down to a certain aspect, and I'll give certain examples just because of that. If you are someone like myself, for example, I'm an artist. At the same time, I'm also a comedian and stuff like that. I have to decide who will help me achieve my goal, who will help me sell my services to my audience. Part of that, for anyone else out there, you need a manager, um, you need a PR, you need a PR, which pretty much would be your publicist as well. Um, you need, for me, I think those two people, depending on their level of experience, those two in your corner should be able to take you far. A manager and a PR.
Okay, so that's the basis of it in terms of a team. So when you say manager, I know this has been a topic of discussion a lot within the Liberian entertainment industry. Is a manager an employee or an employer? What is the function of a manager?
Well, the in entertainment, the manager should be an employee. Unfortunately, in our Liberian certain, it seems like both the people that are acting as manager, they're more of an employer or even sponsors. I wouldn't say even employer because at times um, there isn't that much put into the craft itself from the artist standpoint for the person to be an employer per se. And in order for you to be an employer, that you have to like get something from the artist, and the artist should be paying. But in our case, it seems like it's more of a sponsorship. But to answer your question, the manager is an employee of the artist.
Okay. And so how does a manager get paid? What is normally the business setup, and what are they doing for you exactly?
Well, that's a good question. It all depends. It's on at the very beginning, the initial state of you guys coming together and working together. You will make that agreement based off your where you are and how popular you are, what you're bringing to the table, and what have you. Ballpark, most cases, you're looking at anywhere from 20% of whatever revenue that is generated goes towards that manager, or 15%, some cases 7%. But all of that decision would be made on what the manager is bringing to the table. What is he or she doing to earn that money? Um, in our setting right now, there's not too much of that. The legal aspect, we jump over the legal aspect. Like I'm a friend right now. Let's say I have a friend that believe in my craft, believe what I do. I just get up one morning and say, hey, bro, you want to be my manager? And he accept. And we announce to everyone that he is my manager without any legal backing, without any clear definition of what his responsibilities are, his function is as a team member or as a manager, and he's just a manager. So you have to have those conversations before you can get to that percentage of how much they're getting off of the revenue that will be generated.
Okay. And so you mentioned something there about legal aspects of it. And so when you have a manager or a PR person, um, is a contract involved? Do you get a lawyer to put the contract together for you?
Definitely, a contract must be involved, and which is the reason why you find out most of the time we make announcement in our entertainment industry that XYZ person is my manager, and then somewhere down the line, you either hear the manager will come on Facebook Live and bash the artist and say, hey, I'm no longer managing this person, or the artist will come up and say, this guy does not manage me anymore. And the reason for the contract is to protect yourself, protect the manager himself, protect the brand, give the brand some value. Um, at the initial state where there is no money being generated, no funds coming in, the greed is at a very minimum. Nobody is greedy at that time. There's no ego. Nobody is fighting to say, I do this much, I do that much, and therefore I need to earn this much. Which is why at the very initial state, you guys have to have that conversation. All right, I'm the artist. Okay, you're the manager. What are you going to be doing to make sure that my career move from point A to point B? You guys spell it out. Okay, this is what I expect of you of a manager, and this is what I expect of you of an artist, or entertainer or comedian. Once you guys spell it out, you write it down, you're comfortable with it. Hey, once money start coming in, this is my percentage I'm looking to get. You agreed upon that. Send it to a lawyer. They got online lawyers that are there. They don't charge that much. You probably spend anywhere within the bulk area of $10 or $15. Or if you really want it to be really tight, maybe $100. They will draft something together that protected both of you and bind you guys into a contract. This is a year, 2 year, 3 years contract. If we break up, these are the consequences. This is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. I believe when we do these things at the very initial state of the agreement, and we both sign these things where we can legally go back on in the future and say and hold each other accountable, I think our industry will go far. I think the whole aspect of somebody coming later on and announcing, oh, he's not my manager anymore, she's not my manager anymore, that will be brought to a very minimum.
Okay. And just, like I said, this manager issue has been something in the Liberian entertainment industry. I just want to ask one more question about this. So also what we see sometimes is that the record label is also functioning as the manager. Is that common, for the record label or the production team to be the manager of an artist as well?
Well, it's not common and it's not uncommon either. It all depends on that record labels. They have some record label there that have everything, all that it takes, from a PR to a manager, a negotiator, a publicist. They have everything built in within the record label. But again, on our end of things, yeah, you got a record label that is functioning as all of these things, and there is no spell definition or no spell responsibilities or duty of these different things, which is why you find that this other side of the whole thing is lagging and others are flourishing. But yeah, you do have record labels out there that have everything, and if you sign up with them, they'll tell you, we do this, we do that, we do that, we do that, and all of that is at the beginning of the negotiation. Oh my God, are you hearing tudum 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 when messages come in?
Yes.
All right, hold on, let me. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. It might be my system as well. But to continue the conversation, what I would also put out there is that when a record label or production company does have your manager or your PR, you have to be careful there sometimes, because then the manager is working in the best interest of the record label and not necessarily you, the artist. So just something to think about also. And when we talk about operations, other than the people that help to get the product out there and make things work, it's also the systems that are in place. So here in the US, we have lots of systems in place to check what an artist is producing. Also systems in place that will, let us know how often a song has been played on the radio and where, how often it's been streamed online. For movies, we're able to tell how many people bought tickets to a movie on any given day. Those are all systems in place to help make those industries work. All that in mind, what are some things that you feel what are some systems that you feel may be missing from the Liberian entertainment industry? What is it that we need to really help us get to the next level in entertainment?
Well, definitely a hub, like you stated, a streaming platform is well needed. And transparency within those platforms as well. And no manipulating the system to favor whoever you favored for them to be on top of the chart. I'll give you a perfect example. There is a Liberian platform that was created and formed by a Liberian, Lincoln, and it's called Wology. Wology pretty much takes in, he got it to the point where you can even upload movies and videos and stuff like that, but it's a Liberian platform that is there for artists to put their work on. Now, I know he's still working around that. He got to the point now where you can have your link from YouTube into that platform, where you still get your views from YouTube and possibly earn your money from YouTube to the platform. So we need to build more of that. I also believe we have Tones Liberia, which function as such. But the question here is, how do they get paid from those platforms? That's what we need to look into. How do they get paid for those platforms? While we are still working on perfecting some of these, with Lincoln, I know he's managed to make it in a way where if you put your YouTube link and you get your view from that platform, you still get paid and stuff like that. And he can probably give you a data as to how much streaming is done on that platform. I want to believe that Tunes Liberia can do likewise. But the hesitation here for all artists out there is the revenue generator. How much money am I going to get, if any, by me putting this on your platform? Now, we can continue to build the Liberian platform to get to that point, but our artists, we're not even using the ones that are there, that is already established, that is making people money. We still don't know how to use it to our advantage. Common thing like Facebook, all right? Facebook have gotten to the point right now where you can monetize your content. Most of our artists don't know that. They don't even know how to do that. So you got to go and read about these things. How do you monetize your item, your content, for you to get commercial in there, or for you to be able to get some type of earning? YouTube, sometimes they will have their work, instead of uploading it on YouTube, or create a platform of their own where when they upload it, they can get revenue from that. We're not taking advantage of all of these things. So I think once we start to do our research and start to learn how these things benefit us and use them to our advantage, we will get to that point where we start getting revenue, start getting money in.
Okay, and so the next portion of business that I want to get into is marketing and sales, and I think that's what most people associate with business, how to get the money. And so within marketing, they have what they call the 4 P's of marketing. You have product, price, placement, and promotion. Mm-hmm. And so just going through those and seeing how it relates to the industry. When we talk about product, we're talking about a good or service that a company offers to customers. And ideally, a product should fulfill a certain consumer demand or be so compelling that consumers believe they need to have it. So when we're talking about products, that's it. So what do you do to perfect your craft, your product?
Okay, so that would be the product. So if for me as a comedian, I have to write. Okay, I have to write. Think about what I'm writing. Think about the message that I'm looking to send. Have a target audience. Who am I writing this for? And how am I going to market this to them? So just the product alone. What is it that I'm going to do? What is the topic? Okay, I want to talk on this topic. Select a topic and then just go and just talk on it. Whether it is true stand-up comedy, if I'm doing stand-up comedy, okay, during my entire set, how many times will be allocated to just me talking about family? Because everybody can relate to family issue. Talk about something family. How many times will be allocated to politics? People, relate to politics, or sports. So you have to be able to put things together that people can relate to, that people will find amusing, that people will find the enjoyment in it. Now, with my hosting business, also when I'm going to host event, I prepare differently for each event. I can't go to host a baby shower and then put jokes together that I will be telling at a concert. It might not work. So I have to write jokes to fit that crowd or of people that I'm entertaining at that time in a baby shower setting, wedding setting, church setting, and a concert setting. So all of that, you got to know how to work on those. So that's your product. Your price. What is and even before you go down to the price, the product, how do you package it?
Right.
How do you package your product? You got to be different from everybody else that is out there. Like, look at this guy right behind me. That's how I started. And because of this, they call me the clown. All right. Yeah, that's the definition of some people. But that was my strategy to be able to get their attention so they can see what is behind the craziness in that outfit. So that was the marketing strategy. That's the product right there. That was my packaging to show people, okay, there's something strange about this guy. Why the ugly tie? Why the 2 left foot shoe? Why the socks and the yellow hat and stuff like that? And then they start to pay attention. And then your price. Your price. Most of the time, we don't know our value. We don't know what we're worth. So you find out in our community, all of us are fighting to get on the next flyer.
Mhm.
I don't fight to get on the next flyer. Nevertheless, I still reach out to people. When I see a flyer out there, I reach out and I sell what I do. And if they're interested, then my team get on board. We start to negotiate, and then if there's some type of earning in there, then I go forward with that. That is lacking within our community as well. The price.
Okay.
Don't just do it because hey, you got a gift and you want to be out there and you just take anything. Sometimes, in most cases, a lot of them are free. They just want the opportunity. And the big awards or the big organization within the Liberian entertainment industry, that's their approach when it comes to you. Hey, I'm giving you the opportunity to show people what you do. So because I'm giving you that opportunity to show people what you do, I don't want to pay you, or I want to pay you little to nothing. But if you know your worth, you can set your price and then leave room for negotiation for you to get to that. You also mentioned place.
Mhm.
You know, place. Not everywhere as an artist you want to show. You want to show up. You have to have standard. In our community, they would say you're proud. Oh, he's pride. He don't want to show up here. Okay, that's fine. If that's gonna maintain my standard, I'm gonna keep that. You just don't show up everywhere and anywhere because you want to be known or you want to be famous. For someone like Bucky Raw, for example, he's a well-known artist. I don't expect Bucky Raw to show up at somebody's cookout and performing. That degrades you. It lessens your value. Whether we want to call it pride or not, that's just a fact of it. If you're everywhere, everybody sees you at every time, and you're not strategically placing yourself in position that would benefit and uplift your brand, then you're hurting yourself. Now, on the upper hand, there may be some places that you have to go just to promote yourself. A big award show. Let's say, for example, I hosted the Arcana Fest. The Arcana Fest is a well-known concert that they have in Philadelphia. I was privileged to host it and get paid for doing it at the same time. But given where I was at the time, I could even still go there and say, hey, I will host for free because I had the opportunity of being in front of 5,000 people. I wouldn't have that on a given day. So you want to put your best together, give it your A game, and go places like that and introduce yourself to a wide range of people. And in that crowd, there wasn't just Liberians, it was a whole lot. So you want to put yourself in some of these places. And that's where it comes in, the conversation comes in with you and your manager as to what benefits you or not. Mm-hmm. Promotion is huge. Promotion is huge. Our mindset right now about promotion, especially our artists, it have to be something negative. It have to be some type of negative publicity stunt in order for you to call the crowd. We're allowing our audience to dictate to us as entertainers what they want from us, what they're interested in. And it seems like our audience are interested in the negativity. So when we have a new material to put out there, we want to come up with something negative. We want to come up with some type of negative publicity stunt to get the views. Yeah, you're going to get the view, but what you just promoted was negativity, was not your product. So even though you got the people staring at you now for you to talk about your product, nobody is interested in the product itself because what you promoted was the negativity, and that's what they came for. So that's another thing we need to stay away from. For example, if a serious investor is out there looking for a Liberian entertainer who is talented to invest into that person, and the headline reads, "Oh, D. Curtis beat his wife up," and that was the headline in order for us to come and talk about my new comedy skit or my new comedy event that is coming up. An investor is not going to click on that. It's not going to pull them. They're not going to want us to watch that. So we got to stay away from these negative publicity stunts that we call promotion in order for us to go far.
Great answers. So I guess just delving into each one of those marketing P's, as we call them. One thing we talk about branding, right? And something I read gave 4 things that are important to developing your brand. It says define how you want to be perceived, which is, you touched on that as well. When your customers have finished using your product or service, how do you want them to describe their experience? And then two, organize your business based on this promise. Three, communicate your promise. And then four, be consistent. So defining how you want to be perceived for you specifically, as D Curtis, and with your business, what do you put into your product, and making sure, like, what is your goal for the experience to be at the baby shower, at the wedding, whether you're hosting the Akana Fest, what is the experience you're looking to leave viewers with?
Well, my motto is your satisfaction is my drive, and your event is my business. So your event, first and foremost, is my business. Without you having an event, D Curtis is nobody. I'm not going to get anywhere. And if you are having an event and you decide to book me, my main goal is your satisfaction. And within that goal of me making sure that you're satisfied with my services, professionalism comes in, my appearance comes in, which is my packaging, my interaction with you comes in, and I think about all these things, unlike most MCs or hosts that are around in our community. I don't go to people event looking snobby, just looking anyhow. I strongly believe that the MC or your host is your representation. And if you're having your event and you book somebody as a host or an MC, that person stands in front of your audience the entire time. And they're going to look at that person the entire time. So what representation is that person given? That's one of my thing. How do I represent my clients to their friends, their families, the people that they invite to celebrate with them? So my appearance means a whole lot. How do I interact with them? Like show up, especially something like time. I, for one, I don't believe in African time. You tell me your event starts at 6 o'clock. I'm over there at 5:30 or 5:20 every time. Anyone that has booked me before, they will tell you, is not just words. I am there to make sure that I'm ready to do your work. And even before the day of the event, my communication alone with you. Where are you right now with your program? Most of the time, I'll tell you this, most of the time, the day of the event, in as much as I push to get some information from other people that book me, the day of the event, I'm over there and I'm still trying to put a program together for them. And that was at the initial state. But now my team and I, we've come up with a strategy to make sure, and we embedded it in the contract that, hey, a week to your program, we need your program. So if we're asking you for your program and you can't provide one, we start drafting one for you, and we'll start talking to you. How does this sound? How does this look? What do you want to change here? And that will compel you now for you to start to put things together. So we those are some of the things that we do when it comes to D Curtis Entertainment and the hosting aspect of it. We go above and beyond. We think about things that you are probably not thinking about, because when you're organizing an event, your minds are everywhere. You're doing a whole lot of things, and we have to help you to make sure that these things are in place for you to have a good time.
Awesome. And also within branding, the last one was be consistent. And I think sometimes that's something our entertainers, artists struggle with. Being consistent about either producing your music or putting out content. How do you aim to be consistent? How often are you putting out material?
Well, Denzel Washington said, whatever you do consistently, you get good at, including BS. And the key word there is the consistency that you speak of. You have to be consistent with whatever you do. And for me, if you follow me on my personal page or on my fan page, people would tell you that I'm annoying. I'm annoying to the fact that every day, every single day, there would not be a day that I won't post something about D Curtis Entertainment. Either I write something or I just post my logo. Just post the logo and people will see it. And for that reason, I have some people that are my friends on Facebook that unfollow me just because of that, because it's the same thing over and over and over again. But my thing here is, if you don't advertise what you do, people would not know what you do. And if people don't know what you do, people will not book you. And if people don't book you, you've already failed from the beginning. So consistency is it. What do I do to make sure that happens? I have promotion videos. I'll do promotion videos when I go to event. My fans love to tell you good things. I said, oh, you're telling me this right now. It feels good. Would you like to say it on camera so other people can hear you? And they're like, yeah, why not? And then I'll put the camera in to say whatever they have to say. That's word to mouth testimony for other people to hear it, and not just hearing it from me. So that's one thing I do to promote myself consistently. Comedy skits here and there. I'll do a funny comedy skit, and by the way, those are the ones that people love. Whenever I do the comedy skit, it go crazy. But within that comedy skit, I'm putting my information for booking. Oh, I do this. I MC weddings. I MC divorce party. I do this. And that's out there, and people get to know that. People get to hear about it. I'm consistently on Facebook as well. As soon as a flyer drop today, if I'm friends with you, a flyer drop, boom. The first thing I'm looking for on that flyer, who's the host? Even if I see a host on there, I say, hey, I know you got a host here. Have you heard about what I do or how I do what I do? And then I send them my link. And I have some of those people come back and say, hey, I love what you do. Let me go ahead and book you. So those are some of the things that I put in. And with my booking, people booking me for different states here and there, I create my flyers, I post them to let people know what I do. And that's how I stay consistent with what I do.
Okay. And we talked about price. And so price is the cost consumers pay for a product. Marketers must link the price to the product's real or perceived value, but they also must consider supply costs, seasonal discounts, and competitors' prices. Marketers also need to determine when and if discounting is appropriate. A discount can sometimes draw in more customers, but it can also give the impression of the product being less exclusive or less of a luxury than when it is at a higher price. So that's the price portion of marketing. Do you think that Liberian entertainers are missing the mark when evaluating their worth?
I think so. I think a lot of us are. Even in my case, sometimes people would come to me and be like, why are you charging that? I only need you at my event for 3 hours. Why are you charging me this? And we're willing to explain exactly why and how we come up with the charge, and we'll break it down for clients. But yes, entertainers, a lot of us are missing it. And part of the reason why we're missing is because we're not investing too much into ourselves either. So if you are not investing enough into yourself, your conscience alone will tell you that, hey, I don't think I should be charging people this much. If you don't practice, if you don't put too much into your lyrics, too much stuff into the lyrics that you're putting out there, if you just go on on YouTube and take somebody else's beat that you didn't paid for and stuff like that and put vocals on it and release it, you don't have the audacity to sell that because you it's not yours. You did not create it. But if you spend time and practice on your craft, you paid for beat that you need to pay for, and you rightly own those beats, right? And you're good at what you do, you wouldn't want to just show up anywhere just to perform because they asked you to perform. You wouldn't want to show up anywhere to accept anything just because, that's what the person can offer. There's been instances where I had to turn down certain negotiation. I'm like, no, I can't do it. And there's been instances where I reason with the person. I'm like, okay, I understand what you're saying in here. I can meet you halfway. I can take this off for you. But definitely you must have a price that you're going in with. You can't just go in and, I'll have some people, sometimes I'll reach out to people myself, because even though I'm an entertainer, I'm also a consumer. I reach out to people for them to design stuff for me. And the first thing they would tell me, they was like, oh, no, you tell me how much. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. At the initial stage, you just told me you don't know your worth. And then you tell them, as for me, every time they tell me, you tell me how much, I go as low as possible and then work them back up to where I think. So you have to have a price tag, and you can only have those price tag based off what you've invested into your craft, what you know your worth is, what you're giving to the people. When you get there, are they satisfied with you when you leave? Are they will they be able to tell somebody else about you tomorrow? You know, and you got to get to that place before you can set those prices.
Okay. So interesting. Something you have to consider, like I read earlier, when placing a price on something is how much it costs you or what the costs you are incurring to create a product. So if I am the promoter of an event, whether it be here or in Liberia, and I invite D. Curtis, is it okay for D. Curtis to charge me $5,000 because that's how much he feels he's worth? When I know there's no way I can make $5,000 even at the door, forget about everything else I've had to put into the event. So my question is, where is that fine line between your potential, what you know feel you are worth, and what you can actually earn? Where is that fine line?
Well, the fine lines remains with the person that is booking you, and definitely yourself. As a promoter, let's say if I was a promoter today, and I'm staging one of, and which I'm doing, I'm planning my first stand-up comedy show, comedy/music show for August. And part of what I'm doing currently is that who do I want on this show with me? And why do I want this person on this show with me? You as a promoter have to be able to answer those questions before even reaching out to this person. All right. This guy, I believe he is good at what he does. For example, one of the person I'm contemplating on bringing is Toga Howard. Toga Howard will give you a show. He is a great performer. All right. When Toga Howard hits the stage, I know the audience will love it. So because of that, I'm reaching out to Toga Howard. Part of the thing I need to consider also, will Toga Howard be able to bring the crowd that I'm looking to get on my event? So you as a promoter, before you reach out to that person, you got to know, does this person have the ability to bring in people to come? Would people want to come and pay to see this person? You want to answer that question. If the people pay to come and see this person, can this person deliver? To the extent where if I have him on, I have him on the next flyer, people will want to pay the money to come. So you as a promoter, you have to be able to answer that question. If you can answer that question, then you reach out to this person. And now you're ready to negotiate whatever price that this person gave you because of your research that you've done about this person. So I would say the promoter have his responsibility to do. And the artist and his team have to be able to negotiate and sell themselves to the promoter as to why they think they're worth what they're worth. So if you don't think the artist worth $5,000, why are you reaching out to them in the first place? If your goal is $5,000 and if you're looking to generate over $5,000 and you know for a fact that this artist will not be able to help you generate close to that, or at least 25 or 30%, because it's not one artist that's going to do it. If this artist cannot generate 25% of that, why are you reaching out to the artist? All right. So if we start thinking these ways, we will compel our artists to put in more work for them to be able to get the money that they deserve. But if we're not thinking like that, we're just calling the person because they are our friend, or we're just calling them because we think we can just manipulate them and have them do whatever it is, then you're gonna get middle crowd work every time. It's not, you're not gonna get the best. So the promoter needs to do his job. The artists themselves, yes, I agree. If you are an artist, you definitely know your worth. You know how much you're worth. You know, you can't just come up with a price. Let's say Kevin Hart reached out to me today. D. Curtis, we hear that you are a Liberian comedian within the Liberian community. And because it's Kevin Hart, I said, oh, I need you to pay me $150,000. That's crazy. Because I know there is no way possible that I can be able to generate $150,000 for Kevin Hart. So now it's up to me and my team to see it as, okay, hey, this is going to benefit our team. if we're going to get anything, at least let's get our transportation and maybe some food and stuff like that. But you got to be able to reason and know exactly where you stand. And you can only make that determination and make that price based off what you've done, what you can do, and your and what people know about you over there and how much people you can bring to the show.
So basically, everybody has a responsibility here. It's the promoter as well as the artist.
Exactly.
Because then, you know, what you'll see, people will get on Facebook Live and say, oh, but I didn't even make any money from that show. Or, you know, or the artist, oh, you didn't even pay me that much, you know. So it's a responsibility on both ends here.
That's correct. It's a responsibility on both, and which is why part of that negotiation aspect, there have to be a contract. There have to be a contract that you all agreed upon. You know, quite recently I sent my a team. I reached out to the team. They're organizing their program. I reached out to the team. Hey, I heard that you guys are having a show. Do you have an MC? Oh no, we don't have an MC. I'm like, okay, I do host and I MC events. I'd love to do it. We negotiated. I gave them my price. They're like, oh no, is our first time doing it. That's like the spill that every Liberian promoter we give you. It's our first time doing it and stuff like that. I said, okay, I will drop it from this to this. They're like, oh, I said, okay, I drop it from this to this. I try to be reasonable. And towards the end, doing the negotiation aspect, they sent me a crazy contract, a contract that does not make sense, a contract that you can't take into the court. And anybody, like, they literally was telling me that their event starts at, there were confliction. The event starts at 7. They needed me to be there to host at 7. The contract states that I have to be at the event from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. And then after 2 a.m., I should make myself available to take pictures with fans and without specifying how long that's going to take for the amount that I've already discounted like 3 different times. I have to look at it for long. I'm like, no, I can't do this. This is crazy. Your contract is not even good. I send you my contract and refuse it. So, you know, all of these things, you have to look into it. You don't want to cheat the person that is organizing the program, and definitely you don't want to short sell yourself as well.
Absolutely. And you mentioned it earlier about sometimes discounting, you know, your price when it's necessary. Not too long ago, probably this gone summer, Kobazi, or no, sorry, I believe it was for the Davido concert, possibly in Liberia. And there was all this conversation, you know, on what artists should be paid. So lots of different points here. So it is in Liberia where these artists are already popular. Yes, Davido is coming and he has a big name. So my question to you is, for that concert, should people have been paid? Did you consider it a opportunity that this is an opportunity for artists in Liberia? You should be honored to be on the stage. Discount it or do it for free because there's a greater good for you later. What was your opinion on that?
Well, it all depends on your team, your goal, and what you're looking to achieve. You guys have to sit down and answer some questions. For one, I would not tell any artist to go on any stage for free. Now, here's the thing behind it. When you hear the word free, it doesn't necessarily mean everything is completely free. Now, if you don't have money, doesn't mean it's also free. All right. Just because you were not paid monetarily does not mean it's free. Now, here's my explanation behind that. If someone like Davido is coming and the organizer reach out to you as an artist, well-known artist in Liberia, to come and be a part of it, and their quote unquote term is, oh man, it's an opportunity for you. We want you to come and perform free, which means they're not paying you. Now, for me, if I manage an artist, okay, hey, we invest into our craft, which is why you're reaching out to us. We are good at what we do, which is why you're reaching out to us. I understand it's an opportunity for us, but can you work something out where my artist would be able to negotiate, would be able to meet Davido one-on-one and talk to Davido one-on-one. That's a negotiation right there. You may not be paid money, but if the promoter can do that, and now if the promoter tell you yes, it's up to you and your team as to what conversation you're looking to have with Davido once you're there. How would that conversation benefit you and your team going forward? Then you guys plan about that. Now, even though it may seem like you're going in with no money, but sometimes connection pays more than the physical cash. So you and your team now got to be able to, okay, well, when we meet Davido, what are we going to tell Davido? What are we going to ask for Davido? What is our request? What do we want? Is it a collaboration? Is it a shout out? Is it a this and that? You have to have an in. You have to have a goal to go in. Now, if none of that is possible at all for a big artist in Liberia that is coming up on the show, hey, set your price. If they can pay you, let them pay you. Because at the end of the day, even if you bring Davido to the place, you will have, Davido alone can pull crowd. Davido alone can pull crowd. But here is what Davido alone wouldn't do. Davido alone cannot perform from 6 o'clock p.m. to however long the shows end. No promoter have that money to pay Davido, and Davido does not have the energy to be able to do that. They are going to need somebody to be able to fill in those slots. So if the artist can negotiate successfully, they will go on stage and either get a connection or get monetary value, but nothing will be free. There have to be some type of negotiation there. So if I was in that position and I'm managing an artist, that's what the conversation is going to be.
And then the next P is placement, and you touched on that as well. And so placement, place decisions outline where a company sells a product and how it is delivered, or how it delivers the product to the market. The goal of business executives is to get their products in front of the consumers most likely to buy them. In some cases, this may refer to placing a product in certain stores, but it also refers to the product's placement on a store's display. And just to give our audience a little bit more on that, even down to the bread that is in the supermarket, they all pay a premium for on what level of shelf that bread is on. You know, the stuff that is at eye level, that's where you have to pay the premium price, because they know as you walk down the aisle of the supermarket, that's where your eye goes, whatever is at eye level. I think people who are at the bottom pay less, and then possibly next the people who are placed above eye level, right? So that's placement. In terms of entertainment, you did mention, you know, you wouldn't see an artist as big as Bucky Raw as, you know, performing at a community, not even a community, you know, at a barbecue or small show to speak. So what are your ideas on placement, and especially as it refers to you and your business?
Placements is everything. Placements is everything. And I'll give you a perfect example about packaging, placement, and stuff like that. Let's say, for instance, you go somewhere on Broad Street and you decide that you decide you want coconut juice, the coconut water. All right. They have the coconut water in some supermarkets. All right. That is in a very nice container and stuff like that. There is a price for that water, of that coconut water, that you're going to pay for the fact that you decided to go to the supermarket and buy it, even though it's just a coconut water. But that company invested into the box, the designs that will be on that box, and the shipping and everything. So there is a price that you're going to pay for that. If you don't want that, there's another option. The next option is to walk somewhere down Wallasa. You see the man selling his coconut in the wheelbarrow, and he's peeling it off. Believe you me, the price will be different from that of which you just saw in the supermarket. It's not going to be the same price. It's going to be different. You have to pay that guy the price for him you know, going up the tree, cutting the coconut from the tree, peeling the coconut for you, opening the coconut, and you having your moment and just enjoying it. There's a price that need to be paid for that in that setting. Or you can decide, hey, there's a coconut tree right behind your house. You're gonna go climb the coconut tree, bring the coconut down, bust it open, and crack it and drink. And there will be a price that you have to pay for that. It may not be a monetary price, but your energy, you have to use your energy to do that. So regardless of where you're going, whether you are the artist, placement is necessary with pricing. Or you are, let's say, the consumer or the audience that is buying these things. So you don't expect somebody that invested a whole lot into their craft to just come to your barbecue and just do whatever. And you just pay them whatever. And that person already invests into it. And this, I think we only see this in Liberia. We only see this in Liberia. And if you look at our goal, which is, I want to believe every Liberian entertainer is trying to be on the stage of the American artists. Even when the American artists go to their friends, when their friends are organizing a show, is superb. Is well put together. They put money into it, and it's packaged very well. Is advertised very well. So you have to have that standard. Hey, dude, if I'm coming, hey, here's my suggestion. Let's do this. Let's do that to make it up to a standard. I'm not sure if I answer your question or not, but yeah, you can't just, you know, carry yourself anyhow and expect, you know, people to treat you a certain way or people to pay you what you do, what you're worth. And definitely you can't just have any type of show and just expect anybody to show up. And I know within our community is a mindset that we have to get away from. When you start setting these standards, oh, he think he know everything. I'm meant too proud. He think I arrived. And you will never arrive if you don't have a standard. You will never get there. Nobody will respect you. Liberians, we're good for that. We're good for that. We'll lift you up. Already, we're going to drop you. And, you know, at the initial stage, when I came into the entertainment industry, I observed a lot. And I made my decision from the beginning that fame is not my goal. I am not looking for fame. I'm looking for money. You know, when I did my Song We Love class, I put it out there. I'm not looking for fame. I'm looking for money. If I was looking for fame, by now I would have been one of the most popular entertainer around town. I will be on every flyer. I will be into everything that is going on. Even if you look at my comedy and my involvement with the entertainment industry, things that are negative, I don't associate myself with them. But if you want to be popular, hey, just pick a beef with somebody. Just go laugh. You know, you're done. Everybody know you. And like everybody starts sending you friend requests and stuff like that. But that's not my goal. My goal is not fame. It is for me to be able to bring some type of bread back to my family and for me to get money and then invest that money into other things until we can change our mindset as entertainer and be able to direct our audience as to what they need, what they should expect of us and from us. We're just going to be in this circle.
And then the last P, promotion, you also touched on. So promotion includes advertising, public relations, and promotional strategy. This ties to all the other three P's of marketing, of the marketing mix, as promoting a product shows consumers why they need it and should pay a certain price for it. Okay, so in terms of promotion, you did talk about having a public relations, I guess, manager. So what does that person do for you?
Well, that person is supposed to be someone that is not afraid to reach out. Someone that is a people person, someone that can have conversation, someone that can ask questions, someone that can introduce themselves to people. In my professional career, I have prospect people that I don't know at all, businesses that are around my bank. And as a manager, it's my responsibility to be able to go out there and tell them why my bank and not every other bank. All right. And so you have to be able to do your research. You have to be able to look for things that are around you, and you have to be able to reach out to people. Now, sometimes in our Liberian setting, when you reach out to people, they see it as desperation. This guy is desperate, so then we know we can just pay him whatever. But that's not the case. You should be able to, that person should be able to go to events. You know, sometimes that's part of it. You know, you put money aside just for that. You heard there is a conference going on here, or there's an award show going on here, even though your artist is not nominated, or even though your artist is not there, but that person can go and represent your artist, not your artist now. That person can go try, and while you're there, want to find out who are the organizers. Hey, my name is Darlington Curtis. I manage D Curtis Entertainment Industry. This is what we do. We love what you're doing here. We came to show our support and X, Y, and Z. We would love for us to, you know, have a time for us to have lunch together, or, you know, or conference call for us to tell you more of what we do, because we feel it can help you with what you're doing. Once you have those conversations, you walk away now with somebody's phone number, that tomorrow, if they're planning something, they can bring you in. And that's how now your artist will show up. But most of the time, the artist doesn't do it. The PR doesn't do it. We're so proud. We can't do it. I'm not gonna go support that person stuff. But it shouldn't be the artist. It should be those people. They should be the one going out there. And most of our bloggers, whether they believe it or not, they're good promoters, but they themselves have to see the business aspect of it for other people to be able to reach out to them. Hey, I got my single that is coming out, and I'd love for you to talk about it. You know, and what's the price? And because they don't have that business mentality, they talk about your product here today. You don't pay them, and then they expect you now to bow down to them for anything and anytime. And if you don't do it, then your reputation is on the line. You're proud, you're ungrateful, you're this and that. But if you have this business mindset that, hey, my blogging thing that I'm doing is to generate me money and stuff like that, and that person reach out to you and it's strictly business, you do their work, you won't come back expecting. You won't come back expecting them to hear your name and stuff like that. I'm not saying be ungrateful. If people that follow me, they will tell you, I'm always praising people that help me along the line. I'm always giving them their props. But from the promoters, the bloggers, all of us, we need to have that business mindset that, hey, if I'm gonna sit here and talk about this person for 1 hour, 2 hours, I must be getting something from it. You know, they say time like money, but most of us don't have that mindset. We will sit and we will talk, and then we don't get anything from it. And then the frustration start to kick in, and then we start taking our frustration on people that they didn't do anything, and will come on live. Liberian artists are ungrateful. They're dogs. They're that, and you just put everybody in the same boat simply because you did not set your priorities straight. You did not have a goal. You did not, you know, have a plan as to what you're looking for.
Awesome. And so I'm gonna read a comment or two here from Facebook. River Says Pro says, if you aren't good enough, you cannot be in a position to bargain prices. People determine your worth, not you. And Foreign Boy DJ Wilmot's response to that is, people don't determine your worth. The work you put in and the outcomes make you price your work. And then River Says Pro responded again and said, right, but some products aren't good enough, no matter how much time and resources you put into it.
That's true. That's true. Which is why, you know, in order for us to understand this whole business aspect of our entertainment industry, we got to bring it home, like to your personal life. None of you take your car to a mechanic that you know will not do the job right and pay them money simply because you want to patronize them. You are not going to do it. None of us go to a restaurant and just go buy money and because we want to patronize that person. You must love the food, which is the product, or you love the service. You know, a lot of people talk about Chick-fil-A all the time. Their food is good and their service is good. You have to have something. So you can't walk into a business and tell that person, that business don't worth what they say they're worth because you walked in. You walked in there for a reason. So you cannot call an artist or an entertainer and say the person don't worth what they're asking. There must be something that prompted you. Yes, I know there may be time where the person may charge too much, which is why we have the word negotiation. You know, you have to negotiate until you guys come to one agreement. But you can't just look at somebody and say, no, you don't worth that. But then you reach out to the person, oh, I'm having a show and I want you to be on my show. That's contradicting in itself. So that's what I'm saying. The reason why we are seeing this in our community is because the promoters, the people that are organizing program, they don't know the artists themselves. They don't know the work of the artists themselves. They're not digging deeper into what the artists are doing themselves. And they're just going with the flow. In our entertainment, once a negative news come up and everybody talking about you, about that negativity, all of a sudden you're famous, you're popular. Oh yeah, I'm popular. When we bring that man, we'll get people on our show. But hey, the reason why the popularity is there is not because of what he does. It was just because the story that is behind him. And people are not coming there to come pay money to hear that. They're not doing that. So you got to do your research. So you can't say, oh, you don't worth this, but you're contacting the person. I, for one, hey, I tell people when I came to the entertainment industry, I was living my life. The day you not see me in the entertainment scene any longer, just know for a fact that D. Curtis is not making money. That's why he's gone. It's not because I'm not good anymore. It's not because of this. It's just because I'm not making money. That's why I'm gone. If you've been following me from the beginning, you will see when I first started, I would do comedy videos. I would spend my time. I would think about concept. I would record it. I would spend hours and edit it because I do everything myself. I will edit it and then I will post it and people would laugh. They would share it. I'll have hundreds of shares, thousands of shares, and it's great and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, this is good. But then I started asking myself, what do I get for those time? Mm-hmm. What do I get from those time? And then I gradually started shifting to hosting event. I'm saying, okay, I can continue to give the people what they like for free, do my content, post it on Facebook. They laugh and what have you. And then within that content, I tell them, hey, I'm a host. And because of my personality, they want me to be there. I can make them laugh and bring people together and make them laugh. I did that. And then I said, okay, well, when Facebook came up with the monetization and I had a following, I started reading on the monetization. I reached out to a well-known Liberian comedian who nobody sing her praises around here at all. She don't get no nomination. She don't get no award, but she's extremely good. In my book, she's the best. Her name is Phil Nelson. Phil Nelson is making good money from her entertainment right on social media. She makes more money than the entire entertainment industry combined. right from, yeah, but nobody recognized her, but she have a business mindset. Yeah, she got millions of views. Her audience are diverse. They're not just Liberians and stuff like that. I reach out to her. I'm not proud. I reach out to her and say, hey girl, I like what you're doing here. How you do this thing, how you do it. And she took her time. She gave me some stuff. She sent me some links. I read and then I monetized my thing. Now I'm not just posting a video. When I post a video, Facebook will put an advertisement in it and people that watch it, they see the advertisement, Facebook pay me money for it. I'm not making that much that Phil Nelson is making, but I'm getting money now for my views on Facebook. All right. So you have to have a plan. You have to have a goal and you have to pursue it. You can't just continue to do the same thing over and over and then expect a different result. And that's where we are as the Liberian entertainment. Like I sit down and ask myself, our entire country, who can we point to? One person, we can say this person made it on the international level for their craft. Now, I'm not talking about you get featured or you get promoted with a big artist and that's it. How many, what one artist out there that is living comfortably from their craft? There is none. Until we can decide to change our mindset, we're not going to get there. We're not, until we can put that business hat on, we're not going to get there. People are not going to like you. A lot of people don't like me for what I'm saying right now. A lot of producers, I'm not their friends from what I'm saying right now. But both the producer and the artist know that if we embrace this mindset, all of us will eat, and we eat well. All of us will have it well.
It's true. And so while we are here talking about promotion, I'm going to try to play one of D. Curtis's promotional videos. Okay, so bear with me here for a moment. And this video is to it's to promote his business in terms of hosting. And so we'll get to see a clip of what he does.
D Curtis. D Curtis. D Curtis. Hello, D Curtis. Not the best MC in the whole of America.
Well, my name is D Curtis. I am your MC for the night. For most people, the word MC or the abbreviation MC means master of ceremony, but in my case, I am your man crush for tonight. I am the only guy you're allowed to crush on tonight. So if you're here with your husband, your fiance, your boyfriend, whatever it is, disregard that guy and focus on me. All right?
D Curtis all day, every day. #1 MC. D Curtis. D Curtis.
D Curtis.
I'm telling you guys, if you be the best MC/comedian, D Curtis is the best.
Do we have some African American in the building? African American? African American. I'm not talking about you came from Africa and you're black and you got your citizenship and automatically you're I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about my real man, you know what I'm saying? All right, so I have some real man, 2 people, great. That's awesome. How we do it. I told you we're going to have a good time tonight. Do we have some francophone in the building? Il y a des francophones ici. Vous êtes francophone? Vous venez de quel pays? La Guinée-Conakry, c'est là-bas que j'étais. Ah bon. La Guinée, so il y a des francophones ici. Et ici, il y a des francophones? Ok, bienvenue. Do we have any Liberians in the building? Liberia? Yeah, man. What we're talking to them, we're together. We will spoil it.
Yes, and that is just a little bit of D Curtis's promotional video. You can find that on YouTube from his YouTube channel. Okay. Were you able to hear the video fine?
Yeah, I was.
Yes, and we've also included the link in our comments here for the video on Facebook. So we'll also share that on our page as well. But that is your promotion. So how much time and effort do you put into promoting your services? You did explain that you do squeeze promotion into the videos you post and that you post every day as well. So how much time do you put into promoting?
I can't tell you an exact time because, hey, I'm hungry. And because I'm hungry, I spend a lot of time here, exactly where you see me sitting. When I get off work, I come here and I put it in time. And sometimes when I'm at work, I'm thinking about what's the next thing I'm gonna do for me to come and put in time. So I put in a lot of time when it comes to this. And sometimes, I even go outside and pay other people to do it. I reach out to some American guys, some white guys that are involved with advertisement, and I paid them $45 to do a 15-second voice over for my stuff. You know, with the Liberian people, when white men talk about you or white men show up to your stuff, it means a lot. Oh, even my brother-in-law was like, "Oh, D Curtis, man, you're gonna be with white people and all calling your name now and stuff." And so I invest money into these things. I put money into it because you got to put money in order for you to make money. So I do spend a lot of time. It takes away time from my family. If you ask my family member, they will tell you, like, sometimes I'm on here. If you just saw, my daughter was here trying to come on. Sometimes I'm here late at night and I post them on my page. Sometimes I'm here 3 a.m. People are sleeping. I'm here at 3 a.m. editing my videos to put them out there. I got tons of videos that are here. I go to events, I record these videos, and I just post them out there, you know, for people to see. I was reading some of the comments that, you know, the people are putting here. They said packaging is everything. Yeah, it's not. You can't just point one thing and say that's all to it. But because you can have the most sophisticated packaging ever, if the content within the package is not great, yes, you may have attract corporate people to purchase because of the packaging. But then if the content is not great, guess what? People are going to talk about the content not being great. And in as much as your packaging is awesome, once other people start hearing the testimony of other people, forget it. Packaging is not all to it. So it's a combination of a lot of things, you know, a lot of things. And that's why you got to think about it. If you package, once you package yourself well and you attract that client and you go, you must be able to deliver, you know. And that's why most of the time, some of our artists or some of us entertainers, that's what we fail. We invest too much into the packaging. It looks really good. It looks great. We get the booking and we get there. Phobia catch us. We can't perform. And you know, people leaving, they're so mad. They're not going to come back, you know. So it's not just one thing. Investing into the craft, practicing, getting better at what you do, promoting it, putting it out there, packaging. Yes, I agree. All of those things must work together in order for you to be great. It can't just be one thing. But one thing I would tell everybody though, the start off of everything, in as much as packaging is great, the raw talent, you got to work on that. You got to perfect that, because that's where it all starts. That's where it all starts. You know, that's why you can see today a well-known artist will go on a street and hear somebody singing on the street that look as dirty as whatever, but they hear the raw talent in there and say, hey, I believe there's something in here. And then it take you out. And that's why you see the American Idol, all of this, they are the big people that know everything about marketing, they know everything about packaging, they know everything. They don't look for the market, your marketing strategy, they don't look for your packaging, they look for your content. So in the entertainment business, content is your number one thing. Perfect your content, perfect your craft. And then as you're perfecting that, which is why a team is necessary, as you're perfecting that, other people are working on the branding and the promotion aspect of things, and all of it coming. We can't just take one aspect and say we're going to run with it. You can take the beautiful picture, the nice picture. I gave you a perfect example. Latonia is a Liberian artist. In my opinion, I think her dad professionally, he works for a bank and he does marketing for that bank. Professionally, that lady, when it comes to marketing, I don't see anybody yet. If you look at her packaging, her pictures, her stuff, her videos out there, is impeccable. Now, if you see this lady on stage perform, I had the opportunity to watch her, not in person, but the last LEA that they had, I watched her perform. One of the best performance ever on stage. Great. So her package, her act was not only relying on the packaging, but the packaging sells her, and then she got up there, she performed. Now I can guarantee you, LEA did not reach out to her again, or if they did, they cannot afford her for her to come back, because she came, she showed them what she's capable of. You know, at times you make that decision. Okay, people don't know what I do, so I'm gonna drop my price to show you what I do. And then on the next time around, you're gonna have to pay me what I'm worth. Go back and watch her performance. You can compare it to stuff that Beyonce did. She danced on the stage, she had her dancers, and I'm pretty sure her team invested way beyond what they got paid. They probably functioned into the deficit for that particular performance to fly all those dancers down to DC and stuff like that. LEA cannot pay her again to come back. But if LEA decide to invest in her and bring her back, guess what? Because of the performance, because of her packaging, people want to come and see it. People would pay money to come because it's good. But no, we don't want to spend money. We don't want to make money, you know. And that's part of the stuff that is holding us back. We want to use people and don't pay them their worth. Like most of these people are saying, oh no, you can't tell me how much I'm worth. I got to tell you how much I'm worth. You can take it or leave it. You can disagree with me, and I understand that. My work will have to speak for itself. But at the initial state, I have to tell you how much I'm worth. And then if you disagree, we can negotiate and come down to agreement. But you can say, no, they don't worth anything. But that's a perfect example. Latonia, packaging, awesome. Performance, yes, she happens to have it as well. But there are some people, yeah, you see the advertisement, you see the promotion, you're like, yeah, I can't wait. And then they stand in front of you and you're like, oh gosh. It's the same thing with our everyday thing. You know, you buy something, the package look nice, and then you get down to the product is not anything. You're not going to buy that again. So you can just say packaging is everything.
That's true. True. And you touched on, and this will be the last portion of business that we touch on, financially. In the beginning stages of your career, where should your money be invested? Where should you be putting your money? What is your thought on that?
But for me, if you have money, your money should be in your craft. Okay, it's in your craft. Let's say you're a singer. All right, you are a singer. Yes, you're born. You have the gift, but there may be people or things out there that can polish that gift and take it to the next level. And all of that come in with the market that you're looking to market yourself in. What are you trying to sell to the audience? Are you trying to sell to the audience that you're an amazing vocalist and that's all you do? Then go invest into some vocal training, you know, perfect your range and stuff like that. Are you selling yourself as both a vocalist and a performer? Hire some dancers, learn. Even if you don't want to hire dancers, YouTube University is awesome. Go to YouTube University, get enrolled, free of charge. You don't pay anything. Invest the time in it. You know, it's very hard for you to sing and dance at the same time. But the more you do it, your body get adjusted to it and you can do it. So invest into those stuff. Once you are perfect with that, hey, I tell you, everything else will fall. Then you start getting the right people on. You're not going to know everything. You're not going to be good at everything, which is why the team now is needed. Okay, hey, I'm a killer in my act. Now I need somebody to sell me. All right. And then that person comes on and sell you. I need somebody to dress me. Then that person comes on. You want to get to the point, and eventually once you put all of these things on, you get to the point where, hey, people are asking you now for you to wear their outfit to go perform. Now you're not paying to buy outfit anymore. People are paying you to, even if they don't pay you, they're giving you free things for you to wear. Hey, D. Curtis, I know you got a performance coming up. I got this great design. I want you to wear it, you know, and just give me a shout out. Just tell the people I did it. And if you're that good of a person, you just earn that, give that person business, you know. My first video that I did, I reached out to people. I spent a lot of money on it, but I would have spent a lot more had I not reached out to people. I reached out to this lady that does decor, very nice. You know, I say, hey, I'm putting up my video, and I want it to be great. You can go check it out for yourself. We love class. I want it to be great. And this is the concept I'm looking for. This is the setting I'm looking for. I can't pay you though, but we can network, and I can promote you and let people know that you did it. And then if other people interested from the work, they'll come. Now it's up to her for her to say, no, I'm not doing it. Pay me. But at least you reach out, you know? And luckily she did. I can't say I pay her because she's worth more than what I gave her. So I can't come here and say I paid her. She worth, her name is Royal Angel. She worth more than what I paid her and stuff like that. The people that took part in the stuff, they're worth way more. So money is not altering. In as much as I love money, hey, I found my way to be able to network with people. You have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to let people know what you're looking to do, how you can help them, how they can help you. That's how, at one point I said, in order for Liberia Entertainment to go anywhere, we just have to go back to the barter system where, hey, you're a good host. I need you to come host my event today. I'm a good performer. The day you are having your stuff, I will come and perform there and stuff. So you got to see the value in it and then trade. But we have got to get to that place. And right now, a lot of us, I would say 90% of Liberian entertainers, we're all about the fame. We're all about the ladies. We're all about people talking about you, talking about your name. Hey, I'm not interested in none of that. I love money.
Trying to get to the money.
I came here for the money. I came here because listen. At the end of the day, if I push and continue to be relentless and continue to be persistent and take this thing to where I need it to go, I'm gonna get money. And guess what people say? When you have money, you get what? You get friends. Friends will come. Huh? So I'm gonna fight to get the money. And when I get the money, then the friends will come. But you can shortchange yourself.
Awesome. And so if you're just joining us today, we've been talking about the business aspect of the entertainment industry, especially as it relates to the Liberian entertainment industry. And we've had comedian D. Curtis here with us to share his insight on the business and where he thinks we may be getting things wrong and where we need to make some corrections. So we've spoken about operationally who should be on your team, a manager, a PR. We've spoken about the systems that are in place to help artists succeed, as well as the 4 P's of marketing: your product, price, placement, and promotion. And then we spoke a little bit on finances and where your money should be invested as an artist. And it seems like at the end of the day, your focus is on the product, right? Making sure that you are the best singer or the best comedian, that you can be really perfecting your craft, because once the product is good, you can create the packaging, you can, make sure it's placed in the right place to get the right set of eyes on it. So just really thank you for your insight today. Please let our audience know how they can contact you to be a host or use you in any way.
Well, you can find me on every social media platform, D.Curtis Comedy. That is on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And then also you can reach me through my phone number. Is 804-714-7850. We answer call any time of the day. We're never closed. We're ready to make money. And also you can reach out to us via email. And that email is bookdcurtis2018@gmail.com. So those are the different ways you can reach out to us and inquire about our services. Facebook seems to be one of the popular means for people to get in touch with us. You just go to the fan page, which is D.Curtis Comedy. You drop your comment, instant response. Somebody is there to respond to you and take it from there. And definitely, if you are having your event and you're looking for a host, you need somebody that will put themselves in your position, somebody that would think about what you're looking to accomplish, somebody that will be able to help you to accomplish that. And one thing that set me apart from a lot of people, I speak French. So your French friends that are in the crowd will be entertained. I speak Creole, which is a language from Sierra Leone. So your Sierra Leonean friends that are in the crowd, they're gonna be entertained. I speak the Liberian colloquial, so your Liberian friends are gonna get entertained. I speak standard English, so the Americans and the English people, we all gonna drink tea together. They're gonna be entertained as well. Most hosts cannot say that. I occasionally go to the Funny Bone here in my city and test my materials on African American. So I can guarantee you, if your event is an all African American event, I have jokes, we can come there and they'll have a good time as well. Professionalism is what drives us from the look to the end of the show. We're coming there to represent you and make sure you have a good time, your audience have a good time. You don't want to take any risks, especially if it's a wedding. Wedding's supposed to be once in a lifetime thing. Don't go get that man with a big gut and ramp share and just stand there and the whole time and just making the whole thing boring. All right, because years from now, you're going to sit there and watch that video. You don't want to get mad. All right, you want somebody that will get the people going. All right, somebody that when things are not in place, they don't come and announce, oh, my people, we sorry, they rest. They were bringing the rest not here yet. And the rest will soon be here. No, you want an MC that will be able to shield that away from the people while they're having a good time. And that's what D. Curtis does. All right. The testimony out there, you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who've worked with D. Curtis before. The reputation is there. So getting us, you will not regret. So that's how you find me and why you should find me.
Thanks. And then we have one more question from the audience. River Says Pro says, as a comedian, if you were to audition for a show that includes other top comedians like Kevin Hart, Mark Epps, etc., how will you mentally handle that?
Well, hey, the first thing to do is not to go there trying to outperform them, or not to think that, hey, you cannot make people laugh as hard as they are going to do. You just got to get prepared to go and make at least 80% of the crowd to laugh. Yes, the names are there, but don't let the names scare you. All of these people, before they became what they are now, they also share stage with great people. All right. I was watching, what's his name? Steve Harvey, when he was talking about how he went to New York and Dwayne Johnson was there, and what's this guy? Jimmy Fox was there. They both got booed off the stage, and he went there and just stole his joke. And you got to focus on you. And that's the mindset, even with our Liberian community. We are so focused and seeing everybody else as our competition to the extent that we can't even invest in ourselves and perfect our craft. So if I have that opportunity, I'm looking mentally, I know, hey, excited that I'm sharing stage with them. That's one, mentally. Secondly, what are my best jokes that I know that been killing it? Pull them together and go over there and just deliver it. So if once you don't see them as a threat, once you don't see them as a competition, you see them as a team of people that have the same goal of going and entertaining people and making people laugh, it'll be good. But most of the time, we see ourselves as competitors. Oh, I'm competing with him. I'm better than him. I'm better than, no, everybody, we are all unique. And one thing about comedy, I've come to know is what will make you laugh may not make the other person laugh. And most of the time, what makes people laugh is things that people can relate to. So just make sure that your content is relatable. I can't go to a mixed crowd, a Liberian crowd, a mixed crowd that is not a Liberian crowd, and start talking how the Mano people can talk and start voting the Mano people. It's just not going to work. So you got to know your audience and then prepare for your audience.
Okay. And I guess in relation to that, before we go, I have a question for you regarding, audience. So sometimes we hear the comment that, Liberians, maybe especially as a Liberian comedian or a Liberian actor, that we shouldn't speak in, the deep colloquia. Nobody will understand it. And that maybe we should adjust our accent. So then my question is, though, you have Nigerian artists who don't adjust. They have their music that now Americans are singing too. A lot of times we have no idea what they're saying. They're not speaking in English to suit us or to appeal to us. They say true to who they are. So what is your opinion on that? Is it okay to be Liberian and to stick with who we are? Or do we need to adjust to appeal to wider audiences?
Well, you don't want to neglect your foundation. You don't want to neglect where you're from, but at the same time, you got to understand your market, your target market, your target audience. If we look at the Nigerian entertainment industry, they've come a long way. It's been a very, very, very long time for them to get to the point now where, people, Americans are listening to them. We can say that there hasn't been any adjustment at all, but if you really dig down deeper, there's some form of adjustment. It may not be too much, but there's some form of adjustment in the style of the instrument being played, how the instrument is being played. And also you got to know that people are looking for uniqueness into the entertainment. They're looking for something that is unique. Like Ganga Star. Who knows Ganga Star? Nobody understands what that dude is saying. But that one song, from that one song, that man can live and his entire children can live off of royalty for that song, simply because he stuck to what he was doing. But if you sit down and listen to Ganga Star, you will realize that the beat is relatable somehow. It's not exclusive to his nature or his country alone. So there's some type of adjustment. There have to be a give and take. And you as an artist, you got to know what you're giving and what you're taking. Now on the aspect of movies, I've seen movies like I think the one that is called The Girls Are Angry, where I think it was shot in either South Africa or somewhere, where this guy running around naked and something like that. There's no words in the movie at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's one of the great movies ever. You know, very popular and out there. So people are looking for uniqueness. So you just have to be able to find that medium of how unique you can be and still sell your culture at the same time. You don't want to get rid of your culture completely, but you have to find that which would take you out there, what will connect you with the audience. Like for me, for example, when I started my comedy, I started talking like, what do the people want for us to do? And that is great in the Liberian setting, and that is great. But if I want to reach beyond the Liberians, I have to adjust. I may not like, okay, for example, Faye Nelson, for example. Faye Nelson speaks her Liberian Kurokwa. I talked to her, it's like, how do you get to people to listen to your stuff and everybody sharing your stuff? She said, you know what, our Kurokwa is very hard to understand. So what I do is I slow down when I'm talking. So even though I'm still speaking Kolokwa, I slow it down when I'm talking and people listen. That was her adjustment and it's working for her. So at some point, there is some type of adjustment. Looking at some of the videos that the Nigerian artists are producing today with big cars in it and stuff, you can't tell me that's Nigerian culture. That's not 100% Nigerian culture, you know? But the Americans are vibing onto it. And then you will have people like Yami Adade that will come and just give you strictly the culture, like her recent stuff that she put out, and people are looking for this uniqueness, you know? So there's a fine line and you have to make that decision. It is not a one-time fix. You would try, it will be an error, and then you would try again, it will be an error. Genevieve movie got nominated for the Oscar. Is it the Oscar or the Grammys? But later on got disqualified. But at least now we know what it takes for you to get nomination on that hot. And based off of the feedback that it gave us, if you are a producer or a script writer, you can adjust and still implement some of the things that Genevieve implemented to get your stuff out there. So there is some form of adjustment. You can't say you will not. And I can tell you, some of the big Liberian comedians right now that are in Liberia, I can bet anybody, give them money, bring them in America here, put them into a mixed crowd. Let them do stand-up comedy. The same stand-up comedy that is killing in Liberia, let them do that same stand-up comedy at whatever place you want to carry them, at whatever arena, and see how bad and how horrible they're gonna perform. That's just a fact. You have to do some type of adjustment because you can't go, most of our comedy, we're either making fun of another ethnic group in our country or making fun of how people pronounce or enunciate certain words or distorting our voice for it to sound funnier. Most of our comedy, I'm one of them. Most of our comedies are like that. But when I watch other comedians from other places, they're basically telling stories. They're telling stories that people can relate to with humor in it, with their personality in it. Somebody like Kevin Hart will come and tell you about how he and his family do stuff in their house. And it's crazy funny because you can relate to it, all right? So yeah, there is some type of adjustment that is put in place. It may not be too much, but there is.
Yes. Well, thank you for your perspective, and thank you for joining us. Anything else you'd like to let our audience know before we end the show today?
I just want to thank my supporters. We've heard this over and over in the Liberian community. Liberian people don't support. Liberian people don't support. I, for one, I cannot run with that narrative. Since I surfaced to the team on the platform or in the entertainment, I've been getting support. I've been getting support from people. People been booking me. Support from when I was just doing just a comedy video. People would share it. People would come in my DM. They would tell me stuff, how I made their day. Under the video, they would have their crazy comment, nice comments and stuff like that. Most of the time, there's just 1 out of the 1,000. And often at times, we as entertainers, we tend to focus on that 1 out of the 1,000. That is, and then we come out sometimes a little bit ungrateful, but I can't do that. I just want to thank everybody that's been supporting me, people that have been recommending me to other people to book me to host their event, people that have been booking me for me to host the event themselves. Shout out to my Canadian, Canadian Liberian that got me my first international gig. Hey, I got a passport. I can travel, okay? Wherever you are, anywhere. The only place I don't go is hell. But you in heaven, you're having a show there, you want to book D. Curtis, I'll come. Anywhere. So I just want to thank those that have been supporting me, been booking me, and most definitely those people that book me. And you know, that's the way I get the money and invest that money into other things that is important. So I just want to leave on that note to let you all know, I may not say it often, but I am grateful. I am very, very much grateful for where I am and where you guys are taking me. I can only go past this point based off of your help and your support. And I just want to thank my viewers and supporters. And definitely thank platform like yours, Focus on Liberia, for reaching out to me, giving me the opportunity to yap away and say things that are important to me. You know, I appreciate it a lot. And this is what we need. This is what we need. Platform like yours that talk about things that are important, that talks about solutions and not just a problem. And I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you so much for joining us. You've been here before, like I've said, and thank you again for showing up today and talking about, as you said, the solutions and having those kinds of conversations. Thank you to our audience, as always. Thank you for joining us. We have our regular primetime show today at 6 p.m. Eastern. Today's show will be about the upcoming census here in the U.S. and why it's important, especially why it's important to immigrant groups and what it means for our communities. So please join us at 6 p.m. Eastern, just a couple hours from now, or an hour and 15 minutes from now. Thank you for joining us, and we will close with We Love Class.
Yeah, we love class.
Hello, everybody. Hey. Really nice. Thank you.
You rocked it out.
Oh, thank you.
Well, guys, good luck.
Thank you.
It's not playing on the screen.
Hey guys, it was nice working with all of you. Talking to you, don't want to be one person. I just want to take a laugh at the big man. You're first going wrong, but you hear it back and down. As on the wheel keeps spinning, you'll get your time. Go around, coming and slow down on me. Like to even go as far as it's certainly. Dignity, integrity is not a thing. No, I'm not exchanging. You have to keep the flame. I came in this game for the money. For both you and I know I'm the money. So now go, you will never see me as a loco. Before that, I'll be the first to come and let go. Let's get it right, we on the same campus, yeah. But all around us, sitting in the same class, yeah. We never get to by the same teacher. I feel like I'm the same thing, but never heard. VA, we love class. So gonna be Sorry.